sorry for
How
being a couple of minutes late. I was actually early and then realized I had the time wrong.
that is okay. And no, that totally worked out because I was trying to like hustle to get here in my own home. And but here I am and we both made it. So
I've made it. Let me get my camera on. Sorry, I was not clearly not prepared.
no, and we do not have to have the camera on. Actually, if you don't want to, that is fine too. It's so I do not care at all.
Uh,
So
yeah, it really doesn't bother me either way. I was in like a dark corner and I was like, I should
yeah.
not be in a dark corner. So it doesn't matter to me either way. I'm open to leaving it on or turning it off, whatever works.
Yeah, my I our room is, and I'm gonna turn my phone off. I had it on
That's
because I was
okay.
only trying to answer a call to get a refund on a subscription that I
Mm,
forgot to cancel in time. So
those are the
anyway,
worst. Don't you hate when they like make you call and it's like they know that everybody hates being on the phone. It's the worst.
yeah, yes, I tried to just go through the app because it was kind of impossible to find a phone number.
Hmm.
Anyways, not gonna go on about that, but um, because I never have my phone on because it's like a weird thing of mine. I just can't do the noise. It's too much. So
Yep. You know what? I've been made fun of for that because I don't even have like vibrate on. Mine's always on silent. Like it's never
hey,
ever on. Yeah.
like please, you like society just no.
Right.
You're doing
Right.
too much already. Like,
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
but then I miss things sometimes. So I try to be diligent about like checking my phone. But anyways, that's a whole other thing. Thanks for talking to a stranger tonight.
Of
Or
course.
but I don't know what your experience has been like the last 3 years and if this has become a normal thing for you or if it's so
You know, I've done a little bit of both. Um, I mean, I feel like podcasting is always weird and virtual podcasting it almost just makes it feel like a phone call, which I kind of like. But yeah, I have done pretty much every form of pandemic like style, yeah, comedy. Like we've done like shows in the bed of a pickup truck. Like we've done virtual shows, I've done live stream shows, I've done just about everything. So
yeah, yeah. I it's funny you mentioned that because like I don't mind it either. And I think it's because I still remember having long phone calls with my friends. That's just what we did. We didn't
mhm.
have AIM was like pretty cool.
Oh yeah. That
So
changed the game. The advent of
yeah,
the away message, I mean, wow. Well, that was when really things
the
you had to
rainbow
like
text. I don't know if you ever did that,
yes. Okay,
but
did you ever in your AIM profile info box, did you ever put like things in invisible? I'm like an insane person and I'm outing myself right now as that. Did you ever put like things in like the same color font as the background so it was like invisible unless someone knew to highlight it?
I wish I would have known that trick.
Okay, yeah, I'm clearly insane, but I would like put like I would put
I'm
like I
jealous.
heart Tyler or whatever, and it would be like nobody could know unless you knew to look. It was
Oh man, that's good. I
yeah.
think I was, yeah, no, no, I was in weird chats. Like I go to weird Reddits now. I don't know.
Ooh, tell me more. What? Wait, this is
I
the
just
new
like
subject of the
seeing what
podcast.
people would write. It was like, what? It blew my mind, like
Okay, okay, like were just going into chat rooms? Like you were like
like
okay, like
older people's
ASLing. You were
chat.
like yeah, were you lying about your age and where you're from?
Yeah. Oh,
Okay.
100%. Yes.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I was
Uh-huh.
like, this is like poetry. I was like,
Oh,
this is
I was the poster child for being unsafe on the internet as a kid. Like I was like pretending to be way older than I was. It was bad.
yeah.
It
I
was
was at
bad.
the library though, so they didn't like.
If they come to like pick you up, they're like, duh, I might as well just rent a book instead. 'Cause I'm not gonna. Yeah,
They
that's
would have had a Chris Hansen episode at the library.
for sure, for
And then
sure.
I would have been gone because my mom would have picked me up by then. Like,
Ah,
so yeah.
that's amazing. I love the
I
transition
never
from
actually
that.
offered to meet anybody though, I will
Yeah,
say.
yeah, that's good. That's good. I never offered to meet anyone. Um, but I do love the transition from like that to like Reddit. Like you were like, yeah, now I go on Reddit, like where all the modern day creeps live.
And I don't write anything though. I'm just a lurker.
You're a lurker. Okay. Yeah. I am too for the most part on Reddit. I do post sometimes about shows or about like if I'm doing like a lot of home renovation projects right now, so I'll post about that. But that's the thing is like I go to Reddit to be told I can't do something by like men and just to give me the motivation to do it. Like they'll be like, "Don't do that on your own. You don't have the capacity or the tools." And I'll be like, "All right. This has motivated me in a new way."
See, I still go to I still go to Pinterest for like
Mm,
those kind of ideas and stuff
yeah. Yeah.
because of that, because I have enough of that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I need a little bit of like reverse psychology, someone to be like, don't do it. You really shouldn't attempt that. But for me to be like, oh, okay, I'm gonna attempt it right now.
yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm the opposite.
Mhm, mhm.
So it's a miracle this any of this has happened. I'm doing
Gotcha.
anything.
Yeah.
But well, okay, well, I want to talk about you though. And so I don't like to have a lot of like questions because I just want to let the conversation flow. And I just start recording too. So we're already recording, by the way.
Perfect. Perfect.
And I just don't, yeah. But so the main event that we kind of talked about online was the Fountain City Comedy Festival. And
Yeah,
so I guess just if you want to take the floor and just tell me about it. I mean, I
absolutely.
know about it, but whoever's listening, if you want to just talk about it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So the Fountain City Comedy Festival is truly like a celebration of the local comedy scene in Kansas City. So we have what I consider, what a lot of people here consider a very special independent comedy scene. Really strong comedians, talent, but also unique shows that are really fun. And we have all the time, we have comedians come in from out of town and they'll be like, I did not know that Kansas City had this like really cool scene and all these great venues. And so, there have been people for a couple of years talking about wanting to put this together, the Fountain City Comedy Festival. And I went to a festival back in January in Texas, and that kind of lit a fire under my butt where I was like, we got to do this in Kansas City. Like we truly have everything we need already. Like we have the great venues that believe in us. We have community orgs that would get behind us. We have the great producers of shows that are so unique. And so we decided in about the early spring that we were going to do it. So it's been a total labor of love, totally independent, grassroots, just raising the money based on, the community organizations we know. And we had over 300 submissions, which is like unheard of for a first year festival. So a lot of community buy-in too, which is really cool. And yeah, we're gonna have it's 3 days, 3 day long, with over about 20 shows, and um, headliners from across the country, 50 plus touring acts. I mean, I'm just spouting the like facts and figures now, but it's truly, I mean, it's like just like a band of local comedians that wanted to see it happen, and it's gonna be great.
Awesome. Yeah. Who are the local comedians, including yourself? I know, but who else
Yeah.
was involved in that in creating this?
Yeah, so Stephen Taylor and Carrie McRoberts, they are the co-owners of Barrel of the Bottoms. It's a podcast recording studio and a comedy venue here in town. So they really helped out getting like the kind of the structure and the kind of financial side of things where we can like, use their bank account through the Barrel of the Bottoms and all that. So it's kind of like our shelter for that kind of stuff. And then Aaron Naylor is a local comedian. He actually just moved to Chicago, which is good for him, but sad to lose him. But he's been helping out. Carlos Chimone, and then Dayton Bissett. And then we had a couple more people who helped us review because we had, like I said, over 300 submissions, and that's 27 hours of comedy to watch. So we had a couple other folks, Amira Sanders and Dorian DeBose, help us watch through those, and then myself. And so yeah, that's our committee.
That's awesome. Yeah. No, I really appreciate you sharing that history, because I think it is important people know. It's something that I think probably has been building for quite some time now. And, somebody who has been seasoned and taking the time and, going, I just started in August, so I don't know anything, but the little few times I've ventured out, it's a long evening, and I don't think people understand the amount of work for those that do this on a weekly basis, how much work is being put into making people have a good time and laugh for our community. And I think the past 3 years have just been kind of bubbling to this point where it's time to laugh.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. And I mean, there are so many people that you see that go out to open mics, I mean, 5, 6 nights a week, and they are, writing every day. I honestly, a lot of my effort has been being put towards this festival, so I haven't been as active in the scene as I was before. But there is a super thriving scene here, and people that put on, like, we have a music themed show where it's a sing along show, so everybody in the audience becomes like a part of the band, and the comics do their set, and then they sing a song. We have a burlesque and drag comedy show where comedians strip every time they get like a big laugh. So there's just so much going on here that I think is kind of underground. And so I'm hopeful that this festival can kind of bring people into that. Because every time I bring a friend or a new person into kind of this scene, they're like, where can I learn more? Where can I see more of this? This is really cool. I didn't know this was going on. So yeah, it's pretty exciting.
Yeah, I like how the festival, I've never been to the one in Texas, but I've heard lots about it. And it's kind of on the bucket list. But I like how this is a tour of the city. So if people go to the website and and check it out, they can see that you're getting a good tour, like you said, of all these amazing places to see open mic and music, for that matter, and a lot of the but a lot of people don't know about some of the spots in our town, like West Bottoms, and that's just a really thriving place, a place that I grew up going to, for American Royal and just other things that had nothing to do with comedy, but has a lot to do with how I view maybe where I live now. So
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that was also really intentional. Like, while we were planning, we wanted to showcase different areas of the city. So like, we didn't want to have all of the shows at one venue where, the comedians coming into town and the audience would only see one venue. We wanted to spread it out. So, there are shows at Barrel Bottoms, which is like this, it's in the West Bottoms, but it is in this old industrial building. You kind of have to know where to go. And it's this cool, really cool location. You feel like you're like in on a secret. And then there's, the Bird Comedy Theater, which is a bigger space in the Crossroads, right across from Uptown, and kind of in the heart of sort of some of the action downtown. We've got shows in KCK at the Mockingbird Lounge. Like, really, truly, if you come as an audience member, or, any of the touring comedians that are going to be coming through, they're really going to get to see kind of what Kansas City is all about, and all of the different neighborhoods that we have shows in. So yeah, it's pretty
and really where they can go on a weekly basis to see these people perform.
Well, yeah, and that's the other thing, is like, most of these shows are shows that happen either on a weekly or monthly basis anyway. So it's not just, we're putting this all together and then once it's gone, it's gone. It's like these shows will continue on, and these spaces will continue to cultivate the local scene and build it up. So yeah, it's really great. I'm really excited for it.
Yeah, I think it's a different level of kind of entrepreneurship that Kansas City needs. I mean, it's great that there's like a tech thing and all that, but I mean, I have a day job, but it's not, I'm consider myself an artist. It took me a long time to kind of consider myself that, but now, I really try to work hard at finding space for that. And there is entrepreneurship in that. I think people are coming to like learn that, especially, maybe some of our generation that have like been able to live both and understand you can do both.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, it is Yeah, I think there's something I also have a day job and I think there's something that really ties it all together for me. It's just like bringing community together. Like you said, like the last I started comedy like 6 months before the pandemic hit. So I didn't get a whole lot of time in before things got really freaking weird. But the way that I saw like the the comedy community really rally around each other and like come up with weird ideas for outdoor shows, ways to keep safe and like still do these absurd kind of like concepts. I don't know. Really, it just really makes me feel good to just be in a room being weird with a bunch of friends and like it's kind of like just like an escape from everything, which I just really value and I love.
Yeah, yeah. I agree with that. I got to go to one of the I only did it one time and I don't know that I did so great, but whatever. It was fun. I had a good time. Um, it was in the upstairs at the comedy club,
Oh, okay.
so like the
Yeah.
no mic
The no
open
mic.
mic.
Yeah. Yeah.
And a lot of people I don't think know about that. It's a later show, but if you wanna have some slap happy fun, I
Oh, yeah.
mean, it's great. And I don't like go to the club or like party or anything anymore. So for me, it's really hard to I am a sleepy girl, so like it's hard to do some of these things, but doing it really fills this kind of need in me to kind of stay up late every now and then and just like I'm not drinking because I want to be able to go up and
Hmm.
sense, or whatever, but like it feels that kind of late night itch sometimes.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And like, yeah, I mean, the comedy club for sure, that mic can run pretty late because it's post their shows and whatnot. And like, people don't realize, like you said, especially as a newer comic going out, you might be 30th on the list. And so you're waiting, 2.5 hours just to get your 3 minutes, your 5 minutes in, just to start building those skills and hoping that somebody that books a show will see you and think you're funny and then book you on a show. But I will say for those people listening that are not nighttime people, we do have a brunch comedy show for the festival. It's at 1 p.m. in the afternoon. So, there's truly a little bit of something for everyone on the festival. Yeah, but yeah, no, I get it. I am the same way. I used to run the open mic at the Rhino in North KC, and that one starts at 7:30 p.m. And usually wraps up around 10 or 10:30. And even that for me, I was like, by the end, I was like, oh, I gotta go home. I gotta get out of here. So yeah,
A lot of energy in one room, but it's I don't know, it definitely like I said fills this I think that's pretty normal though. I think most people, if they're honest with themselves, has this need to kind of go and be inappropriate, and just like whatever. I don't even think that's the right word, but to let
yeah.
loose and to be yourself, really.
Hmm.
This is like everything that's talked about is just real stuff. I mean, it's nothing that isn't lived by anybody else. We're all the same pretty much. So it's.
Yeah, shared experiences. I mean, storytelling, I think, is just so important, just culturally, and also just I don't know. I love comedy because it's like this weird kind of in between of like being vulnerable but putting this wall up and like being performative but also letting people in, and it's this kind of interesting balance. And there's so many factors to it, to what makes people laugh or feel comfortable or feel uncomfortable, but in a good way. And yeah, I can't get enough of it. I just think it's so fun, just to see what comes out when you get a bunch of people in a room and a microphone.
Yeah. Yeah. No, there's definitely been some interesting moments, and I think that's the most fun part. If you're there just to watch and just people watch and just observe. I mean, you don't really need to do much. You just need to show up and you're gonna laugh. If you
Oh yeah.
don't, then I don't know. Go there's I don't know, like go do something.
I Yeah. Well, I will never say that comedy is for everyone, and I know
It
I
isn't for everyone.
yeah, and I will say, bad comedy is tough to sit through. I mean, it's like, it's different than music where it's like good music is really good, bad music is still usually like, it's kind of fine, it might be cringy, but bad comedy, man, it's tough to watch, but it's that's what makes it kind of fun. You never know what's going to happen, you know? And
Yeah,
uh,
you don't. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I before I started doing comedy a couple of years ago, I went just to watch open mics. I would just go and watch and just kind of soak it in. And I love the cringe. I love the discomfort. I think it's fun. Yeah.
I agree. I think the discomfort is what is like the part of it that is attractive to me as well. I like to watch people's reactions to things, even if I like to just kind of, that's why I don't like you said, if you're new, definitely expect to be, like at the bottom of the list, and
Hmm.
wait your turn, and then it gives you time to maybe sit and think about what you're going to say, so just use the
Yeah.
time. But yeah, I didn't mind it because I like to watch people. So I didn't mind it because sometimes it gave me something to talk about, or just mention or whatever. But I do want to talk about you as well, separate from the festival.
Yeah.
And where can people go? Like what website can people go to find more information and buy tickets and all of that for
Yeah,
the festival?
yes. Yeah, so the festival website is fountaincitycomedyfest.com. So everything can be found there. We do have a Facebook, which is just Facebook Fountain City Comedy Fest, and an Instagram, which is at Fountain City Comedy Fest. So it's pretty easy. If you just Google it, you should be able to find us. All of the tickets, the FAQ should answer most questions that anybody has about shows or any of that. We do need a couple more volunteers if anybody is wanting to volunteer to help out, take tickets, that kind of thing. We are still looking for a couple more volunteers, but yeah, all of the information can be found at that website. So yeah.
Awesome. Okay. All right. Okay. So, and then I had one last question about
Yeah.
the festival, I guess. Uh, okay. So why Fountain City? I'm joking.
I was like, oh man, I honestly think it's so hilarious because I didn't even know we had fountains.
I'm totally joking.
Uh,
My answer to that is like, just kidding. Look it up. There's
right,
Google.
right.
So,
Yep. Google does exist. Google is
um,
free.
Google is there and I'm not it. So I said that to my mom the other day. She didn't appreciate it, but
Right.
I love her. It was with love. So but no, so okay, so separate from comedy for a second, like just you. I did a little bit of digging. I tried to do my
Oh boy.
best because I don't want to, ask similar questions, and I'm trying to think of my own thing to come up with, I guess. So,
Yeah.
and just to learn about you because we've never met, so I don't
Yeah.
know anything about you. But I did learn a few facts. So I guess you tell me if they're true, and I guess a little bit about them, maybe.
All right. I would love
Okay,
to.
if you're up for that.
Oh, totally. Let's do
Or
it.
you could
Yeah.
say hell no. 30 countries.
Yes, that is true.
Okay.
I'm like trying to search my brain. I feel like that meme of the lady doing the math in her head. Where would that have been from? Yeah. I mean, I've never counted. I'm not that much of like a, wanderlusty gal, but yeah, 30 countries. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I
Yeah.
guess my follow-up question to wherever that came from, I didn't do a lot of digging on that, so I'm
It's all
sorry
good.
for sources. I don't know.
It's all good.
Um, but I just saw it. I was like, I'm gonna see if this is true. Do you speak any other languages?
I do. Yeah. I studied Spanish and Hindi in college. As to how well I can speak them both now, I will not comment. But yeah, I can get around, with both, I think. I studied in India for a couple months in school and have tried to use my Spanish intermittently. So yeah, I sure do.
Okay. Okay. That was just when I saw that, I guess that was my kind of next thought is, I wonder.
Yeah. Yeah. If you Oh, I know where you're finding these sources from. It's probably my WIKI Feet page. That's usually where
Oh
most
my
people
God,
pull up first.
you're,
Um,
oh no, I'm sorry.
no, I'm just kidding.
I mean,
I
or
hope that I have
not,
one.
I don't know. So
I hope I have one someday. That's my goal. That's my career goal, is to just have a WIKI Feet page
right, I know. It's
someday.
like, yeah, I know. I'm like, if that would be great. I'm thinking more like a ASMR or something like that. If I can just whisper in someone's
Oh,
ear for a little.
I could see you being an ASMR person. Wait, give us a little
Oh
whisper.
shit.
Come on. What?
Um, okay, let's see here. I'll do the next question
Okay, perfect.
in ASMR. Okay.
Love it.
Oh shit. Okay, let's see
No,
here.
this is good already.
Gotta find the mic. Okay. So did you
That
hear
was,
that?
yes, it was great. You're gonna be YouTube famous.
Oh God.
I love it. Yes, I love hot dogs. It's true. The rumors are true. I that story, honestly, I just bought a hot dog suit when I was in college and just found out that I loved wearing it. Like, I think it started maybe on Halloween. I went as a hot dog, and then one night my friends wanted to go to a bar, and I really didn't want to go, and so I was like, I'll go if I can wear the hot dog suit. And then I found out I just really so
Yeah.
that was like 10 years ago, 12 years ago. So now I just wear it around. I started going on jogs with it on during the pandemic and I just loved it. And then it turned into a show that I produced, um, haha hot dogs. And yeah, haven't slowed down. Someone
Nice.
sent me a application to be a hot dog influencer or a hot dog ambassador with the National Hot Dog and Sausage Council, and I wrote an unhinged essay in order to become a hot dog ambassador. So
Yes.
yeah, yeah.
I think Oscar Meyer needs to hire you as well to go in that mobile, like
They are currently hiring. I have thought about doing it. I have thought about giving up my life and trying to be a Oscar Mayer ambassador. The problem is I'm actually a vegetarian, so I don't think they would
oh,
love that about me. I think that's a
don't
real.
they have like a hasn't Oscar Meyer come out with that yet? I mean,
Not yet, but I could be the face of that for them. Oscar Mayer, if you're
you should
listening,
be the product owner and the face, but do just wear the suit. That's your only job. They can do the there you have the
right?
factories and the scientists, they can figure out the meat part.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I did for a while. I thought it was fun to just slide into the DMs of all these different fake meat companies and ask for sponsorships. Never got any bites, unfortunately. But
But you don't know if you don't ask.
holding on to hope.
Yeah.
Maybe someday they'll see and they'll come around. Yeah, yeah. Oscar Mayer, if you're listening and you want to put out a fake meat product, hit me up. I will give up any other hopes and dreams to chase that one. So
How many people our age grew up camping? I don't know where you grew up. Did you grow up here in Missouri or Kansas or
I grew up in Iowa. Yeah, so close by,
Iowa? Okay.
basically same.
Yeah. So yeah, like yeah, you can go camp. I don't know if you've been to Smithville or anything like that, but like you can go camping over there, whatever. You have hot dogs, but
Exactly.
then you're now 35, at least that's what I am, and you use organic oil cleanser and you do things, and
Hmm.
sometimes you don't eat meat. So
Right.
Oscar Meyer needs to bring the nostalgia back.
I know. I know. Campaign for Oscar Mayer to come out with a yeah, I've tried all of the different, veggie hot dog options and there's some good ones, but I think Oscar Mayer could really come out with something good. So
Because
we'll
they've
see.
got the flavor locked down. That's a powder or something already. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah. This can be our campaign. This can be our moment. Maybe I'll just start asking. Maybe I'll write them and ask them if they'll sponsor the festival.
yeah,
Oscar Mayer, do you want to sponsor a comedy festival and also give me a career in fake meat sponsorship?
yeah.
That's a deal they can't refuse.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so I didn't intend for that to go on as long as it did.
That's all right.
But no, I did have a serious question though, and I made it into a joke, but actually it was a serious question. Did you grow up like camping or anything like that? Is there any nostalgia there? Like,
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, well, no, you ever start talking and then you realize you're completely telling not the truth. I did not
All
grow
the
up
time.
camping, but I was like, of course I did. No, I didn't. I did not grow up camping, and I think that's why it's so special to me now because I found it late in life. I really love being outside. I really love being out in nature. I would spend every night outside probably if I could. So yeah, I started playing ultimate frisbee in college, and that really got me like kind of once I realized I could spend almost every day like outside all day, that's all I wanted to do. So yeah, no, I didn't really grow up camping very much, but definitely love to do it now.
Yeah. Yeah, I can relate to that. I didn't grow up doing it either, but I had a lot of friends that did. They would go to Lake of the Ozarks on the weekend because maybe their families had something there or whatever, and
Mhm.
I was always when I was much younger, outside like climbing trees or in the creek or something like that, and so we actually just went camping at Crow's Creek. Um, and it's really affordable. It's just right here in Missouri. And it just, yeah, it kind of just was like that. It just was like, yeah, this is what I want to do like all the time. So,
Yeah,
and it's really easy. You don't need much to just, spend a night outside. So,
yeah,
um, but okay, so I guess talking about younger years, one thing I like to, this is something I ask everybody, by the way, so I don't want to hide that or anything. I ask like everybody this because I find it interesting. But what did you, how did you see yourself? Like, what did you, I don't, some people didn't know what they wanted to do, but how did you view yourself or what did you want, if you knew what you were interested in, what did you maybe want to do when you were like in adolescent years, like not young years, but like 10, those preteen, like 10 to 12,
mhm.
like
Yeah.
those kind of,
Yeah,
yeah.
I, how did I kind of in visualize? Wow. Um, I wanted to be a taxi driver. That's what I wanted to be.
Love that.
I remember so vividly wanting like telling my sisters that that's what I wanted to be. I was like, I just want to go to New York and I want to just drive people around all day, which is funny because it's kind of like it is kind of true. Like all that. I mean, when I think about even comedy, it's like, yeah, I love doing it. I love stand up, but really what I love to do is just meet weirdos and like hear their 5 minutes of, life story. Um, so, I kind of am a version of that. But yeah, I wanted to be a taxi driver. I wanted to just meet people from all over and hear people's stories. I never connected that that's kind of actually what I ended up doing.
It makes total sense that because same as like on one token is the listening that you like
Mhm.
hearing weird stories, but on the other hand, have you ever been in the car with somebody who is sharing the weird story?
Yeah.
And I I find myself on both ends sometimes. Sometimes I accidentally find myself sharing the weird story and I can imagine maybe so the taxi driver really isn't all it's a fit,
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. You get the
Comedy's a fit,
story,
I
you
should
share
say
it.
is what I mean.
Oh, for sure. For sure. Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm just kind of obsessed with people and how, yeah, and hearing about their weird little lives and their weird little inner monologues. So yeah, makes sense.
Yeah. Where do you so you've been working on the festival for like a good while now.
Yeah.
What are some other things that you're or where can people like find other work that you're doing separate from the festival and just things that you're working on or
Yeah.
whatever you want to talk about, I guess really what
Of
are
course.
things you want to do? Who knows?
Yeah, absolutely. I post about all of my shows on Instagram. That's where I'm most active. So as I start to accept bookings again and start kind of getting out of town and doing things, that's where I'll post those. I mean, assuming people will book me after I've been gone for so long. But so yeah, that's where I do that. Am also I've been for a while working on a little zine that I'm wanting to release that's going to have some I shoot film photography And so putting those together with some of my writings that I've put together over the pandemic, I'm excited to put that together. But outside of that, really, it's just the festival, man. It's been that for so long. I don't know. It's kind of like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I feel like once the festival's over, I'm gonna be like an empty nester. I'm gonna have to figure out what my life means without this again. So, um,
Well, that'll be a good space because like yeah, who knows, like something it's kind of cool how things unfold. That's one thing I think comedy has taught me, even like before doing any open mic, I didn't go, but I would just listen to a lot of comedy online
yeah,
and on YouTube and stuff like that, and people's specials that they release on YouTube and things like that, and just hearing people talk about writing and
hmm
um different ways that they write. Everybody is so different, and I yeah, I it's just when you get around a lot of people like that and are kind of in that atmosphere, it brings up new ideas within yourself, even that you didn't even know were there. So that's another thing I really like about comedy. It's kind of like I equate it to working out or whatever, or anything hard that you put effort into. It's like a muscle, and you learn new things.
yeah,
It's it's really about community. I mean, it's about bringing people together, and I think some people can m- misunderstand, and because they can't see from that experience perhaps, but it can come off really cynical, I think, or harsh. But I think it's really just kind of more of trying to wrap up some of these hard truths that exist that nobody wants to talk about, and bringing some light to them. Like every therapist I like go to counseling, and like every therapist that's part of this whole thing is like I just like really exploring things with people. And but they always say, like, if you and your part, or if you're in a friendship, whatever, if you find yourself in an argument with somebody you actually care about,
hmm
maybe like at some point try to see how silly it is. Really,
oh
like
yeah,
pull
yeah,
back and add some laughter and like, oh my god, wasn't that so stupid how like we were like, fucking arguing over
oh
what,
yeah, yeah. I
you
mean, being
know
able being able to zoom out and find kind of the humor, but also just the levity in any situation is so healthy. I mean, I hate when people say comedy is therapy because it is not a replacement for therapy. You should
no.
still go to therapy, but
Yes.
being able to
As I
reflect
said,
that
counseling
way,
every week.
yes, yes, please, everyone. Mostly the people who say that need it, but yeah, I mean, it really is like gives you're able to find a lot of clarity in, and yeah, just like being able to find the lightness is so imperative right now, especially. Yeah, and it's fun. It's more fun to do it with other people.
Yeah. Do you find yourself like uh, needing to, though, also have that balance of like living life in order to find that like the humor again? Sometimes, like, I find sometimes writing is so it's one of those things where, at least for me, and this is even just separate from comedy, just writing in general. um Sometimes it just like, really can flow, and then other times it's more difficult, so I don't know. Sometimes I have to step back and just like live life a little bit and take a break from writing, and then
Yeah.
come back to some ideas that maybe I had already written down but didn't finish. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. I think well, definitely everybody has like their own kind of creative practice and what works best for them. I find that if I try too hard to write in a sort of systematic way, that it kind of it takes me out of it a little bit. But I also, so like my preferred method back when I was more active is to just write down kind of notes in my iPhone app and then go up on stage and just like work it out. Whereas now that I've been out for so long, I really want to write a little bit before I get back up there. So everybody has their own kind of own their own vibe. I really like listening to the Good Ones podcast, which is a comedy writing podcast, and comedians go on and they'll talk about how they'll deconstruct a bit and talk about how they put it together and all that stuff. So I really like that. But other than that, yeah, I'm not the best person to talk to about good writing practices because I've just been out of it for so long.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I think there's something to that too, though. I think I feel the same. I think a lot of people who do write probably feel that same way. Um, yeah. Tell me more about your film project, because you said you write with that. So has that helped, just writing in a different way? Has that kind of brought something new to you?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Like I love just writing observational kind of prosy stuff. And I find that I really enjoy almost writing in like a memoir-ish like style. And that kind of helps me. It's very separate for me writing comedy versus writing just for journaling or prompts or whatever. They don't tend to bleed together very much, but it does. One informs the other for sure. Where if I'm doing one, I'm doing more of the other. So yeah, so that's just honestly throughout the pandemic, and more towards the beginning of the pandemic, I got really into shooting film photography as a way to just get out of the house and go on like photo walks. And I ended up with all of this like documentation of this period of my life where, things were in such flux and really had like a powerful narrative to it. But I didn't know what to do with them. And so I was like, I'll put together this little kind of zine with some of my just like thoughts and feelings, and it's kind of structured around the stages of grief and like different stages of grief and kind of like I think a process we were all sort of collectively going through. But yeah, it's been what, 3 years in the making now, so we'll see if it comes together. But yeah, um yeah, I'm constantly a person who's like always kind of in my head, so writing and getting those things out is super cathartic.
Yeah, I have found that to, I think that's why I do enjoy counseling. I did what you did earlier. Actually, I used to go every week. Now I go every 2 weeks.
Nice. Okay, flex. Okay.
So, but part of it is the talking aspect of it, because my sister and I were talking about this a few weekends ago, but just words mean so much to me. And I mean, actions do too. It all, like, I kind of see it holistically, and I think people, including myself, misuse words a lot. And I really enjoy the counseling for the talk therapy aspect of it. It's like a journal, and I still have to journal. you know it's like, that's why. And then I still do, like, very randomly. I don't even, I was trying to think of a term that's like less than open micer, less than that, like the mic visitor or something. But like, and I still feel the need to go talk some more. So, and I do this. So, it's just like you said, I love finding creative avenues to release, because I'm also somebody who processes a lot in my head. And I've learned doing like certain meditations too. I do like these limbic system meditations and go through like my whole limbic system and do breath work. I have to do like it all, because just the way that and I really think if most people were to maybe pause, they would probably realize how much they're not processing too, but
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's real. Sure.
including
Yeah.
myself, like, all the time. I mean,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
self
Definitely.
included there. So,
Right. Right. Yeah.
but anyways, no, okay. So that's really, I thank you for sharing about that, because it seems like there's a lot of passion and just like love coming from that project. So can't wait to see more about that. And how can people follow if they want to learn more about that project when it comes out, or just in general about the festival? Because that is the thing right now. That is
Yeah.
like what is happening. So
Yeah, so you can, again, I'm most active on Instagram. You can follow me, which is just Kailee Post, so Kailee Posts, um, on Instagram, and I will always post about everything I'm doing, and then especially the festival that's coming up again, FountainCityComedyFest.com. Yeah, I'm really excited. It's really a historic moment for Kansas City comedy, and I can't say enough good things about the people, the shows, the comedians here, the talent here. It's going to be phenomenal. I can't wait.
yeah, I think I really hope that it gets, so far there there's so much support, just from the little bit that I've ventured out. I've been to places like the Apex and Rhino and the Comedy Club of Kansas City. I haven't been, there's so many other places though that I haven't been. Those are just the few that I've ventured out to, and people are so supportive. And if you're, I don't know, if you're just looking for a community that's not going to judge you in any way, they might, if you sit in the front row, something might happen, but
Right, right.
But yeah, no, it's all in like love, basically, so it's exciting to see something like this happen. When, as a fan of comedy, I've seen it happen in so many other places outside of my own state, and have never really felt like it could happen right here, if that makes sense. So it's just really exciting to see this come together, and it's just appreciate all the work that you and everybody, the whole committee, has put into making this happen. Yeah, so it's really, I hope lots of people like come out, even if it's just one night. Or how do the tickets work? Can they do single day passes, or?
So we have weekend passes, which are good for one headliner plus the rest unlimited to the rest of the shows. Those are $50, which is a pretty great deal. And then we have individual tickets between $10 and $20, depending on the show, each. So both are an option. And yeah, it's
okay. And those prices are ridiculous. So I would actually encourage people to Google other festival prices and then come back, go to the website, and then purchase some really freaking affordable tickets and have an awesome weekend. So what the heck? Like, that's just crazy how, I mean, that's another great thing about our city though, is that it is that community aspect. It's not about, it isn't about, like trying to take people's arm off to have a good time.
Right.
Yeah. So but okay, well, I don't want to keep you because we're wrapping up here, but one last thing. Okay. So one last fact. Jameson whiskey.
Love it. Love it. Love a good Jameson ginger. That's, if you see me at a bar and you want to send me a drink, send me that.
Jameson ginger. Okay. I'm a Woodford Reserve.
Nice.
I like Jameson, but
you're a little more refined. You got more taste.
What is it? St. Patrick's Day. Wow, that's how much I've removed myself from the night. But
yeah, I love Woodford. Have you had their double oaked?
I have not.
It's really good. It's one of my favorite whiskeys of all time. They're double oaked. It's really good.
I definitely if you know any whiskey places that are, any recommendations, send my way. I'm a bourbon and whiskey person as well. So
yeah, I'll definitely send you some recs.
Okay. All right. Well,
sounds good. All right. Well, I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Have a good night, Kailee.
Right.
Hopefully I meet you in person too
Yeah.
Also, if you do need volunteers, I'm kind of a volunteer whore when it comes to festivals. I've volunteered like 4 festivals in the last like 4 years. It's just a great way to experience a festival, I think. But so
Yeah,
if you do need
absolutely.
volunteers, I don't know if I could do every night, but just hit me up too of what there
Definitely.
might be. I'll see what I can do.
Yeah, I'll send you, we have a little Google form for availability. So I'll send it to you. And if you want to help out, that's great. Yeah, I would love to meet you and catch you at some of the shows.
Okay. All right. Have a good
Okay.
night.
Bye.